to Let's Chat, the Tennessee Valley's premier show focusing on lifestyle and entertainment, bringing you smart shopping tips, community events, and the newest trends. Now, let's chat.
Good morning, and welcome to the Friday edition of Let's Chat. It is the 22nd day of January. I'm Chip Chapin. Jess Raby has a day off, and our attorney friend Gary Massey sliding into the co-pilot seat here. Gary, good morning. Good to see you again.
Good morning. Good to see you.
A lot of excitement going on tonight because of another huge jackpot potential, and as of now, this jackpot, the Mega Millions, is closing in on $950 million.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
That's a whole lot of money. So the question is, and without going into a whole lot of dynamic detail, what do you do if you hit that windfall? What is the first thing that you should do? I guess a lot of people have to decide lump sum or do the payout over the years. What's the smart way to go on that?
Well, it's each person has to make their own decision based on their own circumstances and what's right for them, based on their age, based on what they need for their family and things of that nature. But once you get into numbers this large, then the difference between the yearly payout and the lifetime, taking the lump sum versus a yearly payout, the yearly payout is going to be so large, it's going to change practically anybody's life, presumably. But of course, we know some people, it doesn't change their life for the better. But you need to get help immediately. You need to get a professional, either an attorney, people who understand taxes, an accountant, a financial advisor, and you need to be very careful. And you also start needing to protect yourself from people who would take advantage of you, people who would try to come and, somehow get you to agree to share or make claims against your claim or something of that nature. And so you've got to really take it slow, be methodical, and get help. Get a lot of expert help.
And you'll find out that you've got relatives that live in Laramie, Wyoming that you've never met.
I've seen it happen.
Good advice. Yesterday on the program, we were talking about what do you do if you're in a car wreck. You said the first thing you have to do, call the authorities right away. And that's pretty self-explanatory. We talked about taking pictures of you, the vehicles involved, the other drivers, and things of that nature. What happens if you're ready to take the pictures of the people in the other car? You see them pouring a beer out. You see something that indicates an altered state of driving, or even worse, these people are making threats against you. What do you do in that case?
Well, if you see a person doing something illegal, like using alcohol or some sort of intoxicating substance, then I would advise people to try to take a picture of that as well. Try to take a video. But if the other person is in any way threatening you, if there is any risk of harm, then get back in your car, lock the door, and wait for the authorities to arrive. Another thing to be said about that is when you're in a wreck, before you get out of the car, you need to make sure that it's safe, because some people get hurt by passing traffic after they get out of the car. So always make sure that you stay in your car until you're certain it's safe to get out of the car. And then if you feel like there's a different kind of threat outside the car, get back in the car and wait for help to arrive.
You have talked to us frequently over the years about the importance of situational awareness, and that's certainly right there at the top of the list. Medical attention, even if it is just a minor rear ender, do you go see a doctor? Do you get checked out of the emergency room? What do you do?
It's really a judgment call, but you should err on the side of getting checked. Hopefully you have no injuries. Hopefully your doctor says, I'm not finding anything wrong with you, but it's not uncommon at all for certain types of injuries to show up a week or even 2 weeks later. And then a lot of injuries, a lot of problems don't show up the first day. They show up the second day or the third day because of the adrenaline rush and the things that are going on in our bodies really helps us not feel pain. But then the next morning you wake up and then you may just think, I'm sore. It's not a big deal. I've been sore before. But then it can turn into something big. And so the biggest danger is if there is something significantly wrong, if you do have a reasonable injury or even a significant injury, is you don't want to wait a month or 2 months, because it opens up the argument, well, there was nothing wrong for 2 months, and so something else must have happened after the wreck before you went to the doctor, or you would have gone to the doctor earlier. And so it's better to get checked out to make sure nothing's wrong, and then if there is something wrong, if something does happen in the next day or 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, to go to a medical professional and get that recorded and make sure they know that you were in a car wreck so that your medical records match your story.
Sure. Sounds like some great advice. You do have a number of other ideas if you're involved in a wreck, again, no matter how minor or how major. And you can find out more about that. Gary, thank you. We're up against the clock.
My pleasure.
Get in touch with Gary and the great staff at Massey and Associates. They are in the 6400 block of Lee Highway, right off of Highway 153. And the website, MasseyAttorneys.com, MasseyAttorneys.com. Have a safe weekend.